If you have never used a shrink-a-dink before, then it'll start off about this size, about the size of my hand. You'll design something on it, you'll color it, punch a hole in it, cut it out, and then it'll shrink down to a tiny little size like this. There are several different ways you can color. You can use things like chalk pastels, Sharpies, or even colored pencils like I did here. They get to a size about the size of a quarter if you do half a page like I did here. And you can see I've even made earrings out of this, or I'm going to turn this one into a keychain, and this one is turned into a necklace. So there's several different things you can do with it. When they shrink, we'll put them in the oven and they'll shrivel up really small like this, and then they'll start to flatten out. When they start to flatten out, you need to tell me and I will come pull them out. You can see here they shriveled up and now they're flat, so I'm going to come and get me and then I will pull them out for you. I may press them down to flatten them out a little bit more. You need to wait about 35 seconds for them to cool down before picking them up, because right now they're really soft and hot. So before you start, you need to sand it down really well. Sand it in circular motions everywhere until the whole thing is completely sanded. Just keep sanding and sanding and sanding until it's all completely sanded using a circular motion. Then, after that, you'll design it. Start off with the design onto a piece of paper and then trace that design onto your clear. Then you can use a colored pencil to color it in. You can also use a Sharpie pen, as you see I have done here. You just keep coloring it until it's completely colored. Know that the colors are going to get darker and a little bit more solid. So don't press as hard, pick the lighter colors. That way, whenever it shrinks, it will get darker in color. When cutting it out, you got to be really careful not to crack it, because right now it's very easy to crack it. So every time I come to a spot like this, you got to make sure to come back in from a different angle, like you see here. I'm gonna come in from a different angle and I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna do this several more times. Every time I come to a spot where I need to stop, I don't push through it. I'm going to stop every time I come to that V and then come in from a different angle. Make sure as you're cutting it out that you already have your hole punched and that you cut around that punched hole so that you can have a spot to string it. If you don't want to punch a hole, you don't have to. However, if you want to be able to string anything through it, you got to have that hole there. So if you're going to turn it into earrings and you're not going to hot glue it to an earring stud, or if you're going to turn it into a necklace or even a keychain or a lanyard chain, then you need to make sure to have that hole punched. Okay, now I have that. I'm going to shrink them, put them in the oven. They're going to shrivel up really small, and then they flatten back out, and then they're ready to be pulled out. So come and get me. I'll pull them out, flatten them down, wait about 30 seconds for them to cool down, and you're ready to go. There's several different designs you can do. You can not even cut it out if you want to. You can leave it just like this. There's white paper, black paper. They all wind up coming out really cool. You can see the size here. This is almost a full sheet. It's almost the full size of my hand. I'm going to put them on the oven, and you can see what size they are. They're huge, but then they shrink down to a tiny, tiny little piece. So if you're going to make a necklace, you might even use a full sheet. If you're wanting to add your shrink-a-dink to something like an earring, a stud, or even a clip to go onto your shirt, you can go on Amazon and get any of these examples here. There's earring studs you could hot glue it to, or you could hot glue it to a pin, or even turn it into an earring that you string on there. So that's a good example for you. All right, I think you're ready to get started on your own. Have fun, be careful, go slow, don't crack it. All right, go for it.